Once upon a time, nestled at the edge of a vast, sun-dappled forest, lived a sweet little girl. Everyone in her village adored her, but no one loved her more than her dear old grandmother. Her grandmother had once made her a beautiful little riding cloak of brilliant red velvet. The cloak suited the little girl so perfectly that she wore it everywhere she went, and so everyone simply called her Little Red Riding Hood. One sunny morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called to her. "Come here, my dear," she said, holding up a basket. "Your grandmother isn't feeling well. I've packed this basket with some fresh cake and a bottle of juice to help her feel better. Be a good girl and take it to her." Her mother's face grew serious for a moment. "Now listen carefully. Go straight to your grandmother's house. Don't dawdle along the way, and whatever you do, do not stray from the path. The forest can be a tricky place. And be polite. Say good morning when you arrive and don't peek into every corner before you do." "I'll be very careful, Mother," promised Little Red Riding Hood, giving her a hug and taking the heavy basket. Her grandmother lived deep in the woods, a good half-hour's walk from the village. With a cheerful wave, Little Red Riding Hood set off, the red of her cloak a bright splash of color against the green of the trees. She skipped along the well-trodden paths, the birds chirping merrily above her. The sun filtered through the leaves, creating dancing patterns on the ground. It was a beautiful day, and she felt happy and carefree. Just as she entered the darker, thicker part of the woods, a shadow fell across the path. She looked up and saw a great, gray wolf with clever, shining eyes. Little Red Riding Hood didn't know that wolves could be dangerous, so she wasn't the least bit afraid. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said, his voice smooth as honey. "Good day to you too, Mr. Wolf," she replied politely. "And where are you off to so early in the morning?" he asked, trotting alongside her. "I'm on my way to my grandmother's house," she explained. "Oh, and what's that you have in your basket?" the wolf inquired, sniffing the air. "It's cake and juice," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Grandmother is feeling poorly, and this is to help her get strong again." "And where does this grandmother of yours live?" the wolf asked, his mind already spinning with a wicked plan. "Oh, she lives a good 15 minutes further into the forest," the innocent girl replied. "Her cottage is under the 3 large oak trees, the one with the hazel bushes growing all around it. You can't miss it." The wolf's grin widened. He thought to himself, "This tender young thing will be a delicious treat, even better than the old woman. If I'm clever, I can have them both." He walked beside her for a few more steps, then said, "Little Red Riding Hood, just look around you. See these beautiful flowers? Hear the sweet songs of the birds. You're walking along as if you're late for school. Why not take a moment to enjoy the forest?" Little Red Riding Hood looked up. The wolf was right. Sunbeams were dancing through the branches, and all around her, the most beautiful wildflowers were blooming in patches of light. It would be lovely to pick a bouquet for her grandmother. A fresh bunch of flowers would surely cheer her up. "That's a wonderful idea," she said to the wolf. She looked at the sun high in the sky and thought, "It's still early. I have plenty of time." And so, she stepped off the path. She forgot her mother's warning and her own promise completely. She wandered from the path into the woods to pick flowers. When she picked one, she saw an even prettier one a little further on, And so she went deeper and deeper into the forest, chasing the most beautiful blooms. Meanwhile, the cunning wolf didn't waste a second. He ran straight to the grandmother's cottage. When he arrived, he knocked on the door. "Who's there?" called a weak voice from inside. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf replied, pitching his voice high to sound like the little girl. "I've brought you some cake and juice. Please open the door." "Oh, you are a dear," the grandmother called out. "I'm too weak to get up. Just lift the latch. The door is unlocked." The wolf lifted the latch. The door swung open, and without a single word, he sprang to the bedside and he swallowed the poor old grandmother whole. Then the wicked wolf pulled on her nightgown, put her cap on his head, and drew the bed curtains close. He snuggled down into the pillows and waited. Back in the woods, Little Red Riding Hood had finally gathered a magnificent bouquet, so many flowers that she could barely hold them all. She suddenly remembered her grandmother and realized she had been gone for a long time. She hurried back to the path and ran the rest of the way to the cottage. She was surprised to find the door standing wide open. As she stepped inside, everything felt strange and quiet. A shiver ran down her spine. Usually, she thought, "I feel so happy when I come to Grandma's house." She called out, "Good morning," but there was no answer. She walked cautiously to the bedroom. The bed curtains were drawn. She pulled them back and there lay her grandmother, or so she thought. But she looked so different. Her cap was pulled far down over her face, and she looked very strange indeed. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have! All the better to hear you with, my dear," came the gravelly reply. "And grandmother, what big eyes you have! All the better to see you with, my dear." "But grandmother," she gasped, "what big hands you have! All the better to hug you with, my dear." "Oh, grandmother, but what a terribly big mouth you have! All the better to eat you with." And with that, the wolf leaped out of the bed and swallowed poor Little Red Riding Hood in one gulp. With his hunger finally satisfied, the greedy wolf climbed back into bed, fell fast asleep, and began to snore very, very loudly. A little while later, a huntsman was passing by the cottage. He heard the incredibly loud snores and thought, "My goodness, the old woman is snoring terribly. I'd better check if everything is all right." He went inside and walked to the bedroom. And there, in the bed, he saw the great wolf, fast asleep with a very full belly. "So, I've found you at last, you old sinner," the huntsman exclaimed. "I've been looking for you for a long time." He raised his rifle to take aim, but then it occurred to him that the wolf might have eaten the grandmother, and that she might still be saved. So, instead of shooting, he took a large pair of scissors and began to carefully cut open the sleeping wolf's stomach. After just a few snips, he saw a flash of a little red cloak. He snipped a little more, and out jumped Little Red Riding Hood, crying, "Oh, I was so frightened!" It was so dark inside the wolf. And a moment later, the old grandmother climbed out too, alive but very weak. What a happy reunion! Little Red Riding Hood quickly ran outside and gathered some large, heavy stones. They filled the wolf's belly with the stones. When the wolf finally woke up, he felt terribly heavy. He tried to run away, but the stones were so weighty that he stumbled, fell down, and that was the end of him. The huntsman, the grandmother, and Little Red Riding Hood were overjoyed. The grandmother ate the cake and drank the juice that Little Red Riding Hood had brought, and soon she was feeling much stronger. As for Little Red Riding Hood, she learned a very important lesson that day. She thought to herself, "As long as I live, I will never again stray from the path and wander into the woods when my mother has told me not to." And she never did. Thank you so much for watching this story with us. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more wonderful stories. See you next time.